Holy shit. He said what?
Everybody trying to be a victim. Like, what's this girl, Meghan Markle? Seemed like a nice lady, just complaining. I was like, didn't she hit the light-skin lottery and still going on complaining? Acting all dumb like she don't know nothing. Going on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers?
When Chris Rock took the stage for his long-awaited Netflix special, nobody expected Meghan Markle to become his prime target, but what followed was nothing short of a cultural earthquake. With razor-sharp wit, Rock stripped away Meghan's carefully crafted victim narrative, turning her into the punchline of the night and sparking a worldwide chain reaction of mockery. From late-night hosts to viral TikToks and even South Park, the roast spread like wildfire, leaving Meghan and Harry powerless to stop it. This wasn't just comedy, it was a takedown that rewrote their public image.
The biggest addiction in America is attention. We are addicted to attention. Easiest way to get attention is to be a victim.
Chris Rock wasted no time easing into safe jokes. Instead, he went straight for Meghan Markle within the opening minutes of his set. He mocked her complaints about royal life, saying she hit the light-skinned lottery yet still chose to play the victim. The crowd erupted as Rock dismantled her claims of ignorance about the royal family, bluntly calling them the original racists. In one stroke, he reframed Meghan's narrative, showing the audience she wasn't naive or blindsided. She knew exactly what she was walking into.
Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Pull that video up, because it's one of my favorites.
They're so racist, they're so racist. Some of the she went through was not racism. It was just some in-law shit. Cause she's complaining, I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? No, bro, they're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist, because even black people want to know.
Rock didn't stop there. He doubled down on Meghan's infamous Oprah interview, where she claimed not to understand how racist the royals could be. He ridiculed her for acting shocked, comparing it to joining Budweiser and being surprised they drink beer. The punchline was simple but devastating. Meghan's story of innocence collapsed under Rock's blunt logic. The crowd wasn't just laughing at his jokes, they were nodding in agreement, realizing how her narrative had always been built on shaky ground.
What the f is she talking about? She didn't know. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
By calling out Meghan's complaints, Rock exposed them as ordinary family drama rather than acts of racism. He even joked that black families themselves often ask how dark a baby might be, stripping her claims of the seriousness she attached to them. The brilliance of Rock's delivery was in its simplicity. He didn't overcomplicate the punchline. Instead, he revealed how Meghan exaggerated normal situations into crises, and in doing so, he gave the audience permission to laugh at what they once treated as untouchable.
Posting up pathetic pictures. This is me eating sushi. Like me. This is me 25 years ago when I was hot. Like me. Oh, it's fucking sad.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest updates. Rock's roast went further when he mocked Meghan's constant need for attention. He compared her social media posts and carefully curated photos to desperate cries for validation. By framing her as someone addicted to the spotlight rather than a victim of it, Rock dismantled the innocent Duchess image she had built, exposing her as a celebrity chasing relevance under the guise of struggle.
Hey, it's the husband formerly known as Prince. Any luck getting a job?
Oh, they had me driving for Uber Eats, but there were too many damn rules. Don't touch the food, don't taste the food, drive on the road.
I'm sorry, Rowdy Reddy.
Chris Rock's most cutting blow came when he likened Meghan's ignorance of royal life to a basketball player claiming they'd never heard of the NBA. The analogy was sharp, hilarious, and impossible to argue with. The audience roared, but the laughter carried an edge. It wasn't just funny, it was true. Rock reminded everyone that Meghan dated Prince Harry for years before marrying him. She had time to research, time to prepare, and time to understand exactly what she was stepping into. His point hit home. She wasn't blindsided, she was fully aware and still chose the role, then later played the victim card for sympathy. This stripped away the fairy tale narrative of a Hollywood actress stumbling into royalty. Instead, Rock painted her as someone who deliberately sought fame and fortune, using the royal family as her platform. That revelation resonated, and the illusion began to crumble before a global audience.
that she was hunting for a man in England. She wanted wealth and she wanted fame, and she targeted Harry.
Before we dive deeper, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you're always updated with our latest content. Rock's brilliance wasn't just in his punchlines, but in how he flipped Meghan's entire story upside down. For years, she sold the image of a naive outsider caught in the harsh glare of royalty. But with one joke after another, Rock reframed her as a woman fully aware of what she wanted: fame, wealth, and influence, and willing to chase it at any cost. He exposed the contradiction of someone begging for privacy while posing for cameras and posting curated glimpses of her life online. What truly stung was how Rock gave the audience permission to laugh at her hypocrisy, something many had silently suspected. His roast didn't just entertain, it ignited a cultural shift, making Meghan and Harry punchlines instead of sympathetic figures.
The fuck is she talking about? I didn't know. That's like marrying into the Budweiser family and going, they drink a lot.
What made Rock's takedown even more devastating was the ripple effect it created. The moment his special aired, comedians across the globe jumped on the bandwagon. British comics, long accustomed to royal satire, now had fresh ammunition, portraying Meghan and Harry as contradictions, denouncing titles and privilege while signing multi-million-dollar Netflix deals. Across the Atlantic, late-night hosts smelled the same opportunity. They hammered the couple's infamous "We want privacy" line while mocking their endless public appearances and brand deals. The jokes overlapped, repeated, and soon became a chorus that the public couldn't ignore. What began as one comedian's roast quickly transformed into a narrative-shattering moment, shifting Meghan's image from misunderstood duchess to a running gag in mainstream entertainment. The illusion of royal innocence had officially collapsed, and the world was laughing.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
The Duchess of Sussex shared a photo of herself cuddling her daughter on Instagram and a never-before-seen picture from her birth.
And this is sweet. Meghan Markle said she has a finger they can use if they need it.
As the jokes snowballed, social media turned Meghan into meme currency. TikTok creators stitched her Netflix moments with rolling eyes, sarcastic voiceovers, and laugh tracks, turning awkward clips into viral comedy. Twitter piled on with side-by-side comparisons of privacy please and staged paparazzi shots, captions so brutal they didn't even need punchlines. YouTube creators dissected her interviews frame by frame, highlighting rehearsed pauses and PR scripted lines. Suddenly, Meghan wasn't seen as an authentic duchess telling her truth. She became a character in an ongoing soap opera, mocked and memed at every turn. The frightening part? Memes moved faster than her PR team could react. By the time one rebuttal was ready, another viral punchline had already taken over. Viewers, what do you think? Did Meghan underestimate how ruthless internet culture can be, or was she always destined to become a parody of herself?
We want privacy! We want privacy! Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy!
5 minutes later.
Who's filming this?
Meghan Markle, the only thing she found was a rich, famous husband.
The nearest thing Meghan Markle ever had to a billion-dollar idea was marrying a prince.
By the time late-night TV joined the frenzy, Meghan and Harry were no longer treated as serious figures, but as easy comedic targets. Saturday Night Live portrayed them as clueless royal dropouts stumbling through life while trying to monetize every step. Jimmy Fallon mocked Meghan's bizarre claim that she and Harry secretly married 3 days before their royal wedding, making viewers feel like fools for tuning in to watch what was essentially a rerun. Stephen Colbert, usually more restrained, still poked fun at their exaggerated grievances, while other hosts turned Harry's memoir into endless material, lampooning his oversharing and pampered upbringing. The repetition of these jokes across multiple platforms hammered one message into the public consciousness. Meghan and Harry weren't victims, they were opportunists. And with every skit, monologue, and gag, their carefully built image took another blow. Comedy had transformed them into a cultural punchline, and once laughter defined them, it was impossible to reverse.
Best way to have a snack is to take the snack out of one bag and then move them into another bag and then label this new bag, even though this bag already has a label on it. Tap water!
What made the fallout so destructive was how quickly the mockery became normalized. Comedians in small clubs, who normally wouldn't dare take aim at royals, now treated Meghan as fair game. Simon Brodkin ripped into their Netflix series, calling it a 6-hour infomercial for self-pity, while others mocked Harry's oversharing in Spare, twisting his words into absurd punchlines about being pampered and out of touch. These jokes weren't just clever, they were merciless, echoing raw frustration many audiences already felt. Soon, Meghan's polished speeches were derided as Oscar monologues for one, her curtsying complaints compared to whining about airport security, and Harry's supposed struggles reframed as comedic exaggerations. The internet amplified every line, ensuring that no insult stayed confined to the stage. Each viral clip shredded their credibility further, until Meghan's brand wasn't just dented, it was dismantled piece by piece. The worst part, nobody in those audiences wanted to see it repaired.
My name is Megan Sussex now. Call me Meghan Markle one more time, Mindy Kaling.
If the comedy clubs were brutal, animated satire delivered the fatal blow. South Park's infamous Worldwide Privacy Tour episode immortalized Meghan and Harry as caricatures screaming for privacy through megaphones while flying on private jets. The gag was so sharp it barely needed dialogue. Audiences instantly grasped the hypocrisy. Once South Park gets you, there's no return because animation lingers in public memory longer than any headline or rebuttal. Family Guy added its own jab, reducing them to a 2-second joke about earning millions for doing nothing, which arguably hit harder than a full monologue. That's the danger of becoming cartoon fodder. When people laugh at your animated version more than your real self, your control over your image vanishes. Meghan wasn't just criticized anymore. She was cemented in pop culture as a symbol of performative victimhood. From that point on, no amount of interviews or polished PR spin could erase the animated legacy mocking her every contradiction.
Oh my god, that hat. Oh god. He's so hot. Look at him. Isn't Prince Harry? I mean, she bagged a fox.
While cartoons delivered satire, Bill Maher used something more dangerous: logic. He dismantled Meghan and Harry's entire strategy, pointing out the absurdity of wanting royal perks without responsibility, fame without scrutiny, and titles without the duty they required. He contrasted their endless grievances with Queen Elizabeth's quiet endurance, showing how dignity had more power than dramatized victimhood. Maher's most cutting observation was simple: the world isn't obligated to play along with your personal drama. That line exposed the entitlement beneath their narrative and resonated with audiences who had grown tired of the constant complaints. By the end of his segment, Meghan wasn't just mocked, she was diagnosed. Her brand framed as a doomed business model built on self-pity. And here's something to think about. Do you agree with Maher that Meghan and Harry's downfall was inevitable? Or do you think the media exaggerated their flaws to sell headlines?
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
By this point, Meghan's image wasn't just dented, it was shattered into fragments. Each one turned into a meme, a punchline, or a viral clip bouncing across the internet. Chris Rock may have lit the match, but the firestorm had spread so far that even Meghan and Harry's attempts at rebranding looked hollow. Their charity work, public appearances, and interviews were all filtered through the echo of those jokes. Every statement sounded rehearsed, every gesture appeared staged, and every photo op was seen as another PR stunt. That's the danger of becoming comedy shorthand. Once your name stands for hypocrisy, the label sticks. Politicians recover from scandals, celebrities rebound from controversies. But when the world only sees you as a punchline, rebuilding becomes nearly impossible. Meghan and Harry had become permanent fixtures in the comedy world's arsenal, not respected figures in control of their narrative. And the laughter wasn't fading, it was growing louder.
Meghan, you have been working so hard. Oh my god. You're probably the hardest worker in the world. I don't know anybody that's worked as hard as you. I don't know, I'm just doing my best.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
The real sting came when the ridicule began eroding Meghan and Harry's credibility with the very institutions that once gave them prestige. Their carefully built image as compassionate changemakers couldn't withstand the avalanche of mockery. Even supporters grew hesitant, seeing them less as victims and more as opportunists trapped in their own contradictions. Media outlets amplified the comedy, replaying clips from Rock's special, South Park, and late-night skits until they became the dominant narrative. What once was sympathy turned into skepticism, then into outright derision. Every time Meghan spoke about hardship, it was drowned out by memes of her curtsying or chanting, "We want privacy." Every time Harry tried to highlight charity, it was overshadowed by jokes about his memoir oversharing. Their relevance shifted from public figures with purpose to pop culture caricatures. And that shift wasn't temporary. It was a permanent stain on their public image, one that no rebrand could easily erase.
Another big revelation was that Meghan said that she and Harry actually got married 3 days before the royal wedding. Great, now I feel like a fool for waking up at 5 a.m. to watch two married people get married.
Harry's bizarre oversharing in his memoir. Their habit of turning...
What made this cultural takedown so devastating was the sheer repetition. Jokes about Meghan and Harry appeared everywhere. Late-night monologues, podcasts, comedy clubs, TikTok edits, and YouTube breakdowns. The more the jokes were told, the more they stopped sounding like comedy and started being accepted as truth. That's the power of humor. When the same punchline gets echoed by different voices, it hardens into public perception. Soon, Meghan's brand wasn't defined by her charity work or interviews, but by viral catchphrases like, "We want privacy." Every contradiction, fame chased under the banner of victimhood, brand deals framed as noble duty, was distilled into sound bites that stuck in people's minds. Even casual observers who hadn't followed the royal drama closely absorbed the satire secondhand through memes and clips. And once the world laughs at you consistently, it stops listening seriously. Meghan and Harry were no longer controlling the story. The story was controlling them.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H. What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
By the time the storm settled, Meghan and Harry weren't battling the palace or the press. They were battling public laughter, and that's a war no one wins. Their every move was filtered through the lens of satire. Meghan's polished sound bites dismissed as Oscar auditions, Harry's memoir mocked as overexposed whining, and their Netflix series reduced to meme fodder. Even attempts at sincerity backfired, as audiences waited for the next viral joke instead of listening to their message. The court jesters of the modern age, comedians, late-night hosts, and meme creators had spoken, and their verdict was final. The couple wasn't just criticized, they were rebranded as cultural symbols of hypocrisy. And unlike scandals that fade, laughter leaves a permanent scar. Once your identity becomes shorthand for contradiction, there's no rebuilding. Meghan and Harry discovered that the harshest judgment didn't come from tabloids or royals. It came from audiences around the world laughing in unison.
If I'm going to succeed in America, I need a lifestyle brand of creams and supplements. Gwyneth Paltrow has Goop, Kourtney Kardashian has Poosh, and Jamie Lee Curtis has Poogert. Now I've got mine, Meg Goo, celebrating the sexy earth goddess in all of us.
What makes this saga even more brutal is how the fallout extended beyond comedy into real-life consequences. Brands and institutions once eager to align with Meghan and Harry began treading carefully, wary of being associated with their growing reputation for drama and hypocrisy. Their projects, once hyped as groundbreaking, were now viewed through a lens of skepticism. Even their charity initiatives risked being overshadowed by the endless stream of jokes. Every public appearance, instead of reinforcing their mission, became an opportunity for critics to mock them further. The perception that they were cashing in on royal connections while denouncing the monarchy left them trapped in a paradox impossible to escape. And unlike scandals that fade with time, this wasn't about one controversy. It was about a cultural verdict delivered in punchlines. The laughter had stuck, transforming them from influential figures into walking memes, and the world showed no signs of letting them recover.
Careful, Harry. I spilled some essential oils on the floor.
I don't know, Megs. I've tried every career there is. Prince, Hitler. Maybe I'm just not qualified for anything.
That's not true. You're a great husband, a good-hearted man. You've got big, muscular teeth.
Thanks, Meg. And I guess now I'm qualified for this. Unemployment!
By now, even their most loyal defenders struggled to push back against the avalanche of satire. How do you argue with South Park sketches replayed millions of times, or late-night monologues shared endlessly online? The problem wasn't just the volume of jokes, but the accuracy of the contradictions they highlighted. Meghan's pleas for privacy clashed with her high-profile media deals, and Harry's attempts to distance himself from the royals contradicted his reliance on his royal identity for relevance. These weren't fabricated scandals. They were exaggerations of their own choices, sharpened into comedy that cut deep. The irony was inescapable. Markle. The couple who once commanded global sympathy had become cultural shorthand for hypocrisy, and when comedians across the globe, British, American, and beyond, all tell the same joke, it stops being a gag and becomes public consensus. Meghan and Harry weren't just subjects of ridicule, they were symbols of self-inflicted downfall.
I said H was H was accepted. H has been as H is, and H called me with H, and H was out, and with H.
What cemented their downfall was the way laughter outlived the news cycle. Most scandals fade once the headlines shift, but the jokes about Meghan and Harry kept resurfacing. On TikTok, in comedy clubs, in late-night reruns, and even in casual conversations. Their every attempt to pivot toward philanthropy or serious work was undermined by a chorus of mockery echoing in the background. When Meghan spoke about empowerment, audiences remembered Chris Rock's biting punchlines. When Harry promoted mental health awareness, people recalled South Park's worldwide privacy tour. Their sincerity was filtered through ridicule, stripping their words of impact before they could land. The cruel reality is that once you're reduced to a punchline, credibility evaporates. They weren't viewed as leaders or influencers anymore, but as characters in an ongoing satire. The world didn't just laugh once, it kept laughing, and that laughter became the permanent soundtrack to their public image.
We want privacy! We want privacy! It's so quiet and empty here. If we moved her, then people would think we're really serious about wanting to be normal. It does seem perfect, doesn't it?
Your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim.
Yeah, that's totally me! What matters is what we have on the inside.
At this stage, Meghan and Harry's predicament was no longer about media bias or royal feuds. It was about cultural permanence. Once you become comedy shorthand, your reputation exists in a form you can't reclaim. Politicians bounce back from scandals, celebrities rebuild after controversies, but ridicule leaves a deeper scar because it rewrites how people see you. For Meghan, every polished speech now sounded self-serving, every claim of hardship rang hollow, and every public gesture looked staged. For Harry, oversharing blurred the line between honesty and parody, making him appear less relatable and more absurd. Together, they became the living embodiment of contradiction, craving attention while denouncing intrusion, cashing in on royalty while rejecting the crown. And the hardest truth? It wasn't just critics or tabloids pushing this image, it was the laughter of everyday people across the globe. That laughter became the verdict, and no PR strategy could overturn it.
The woman who destroyed her in-laws family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her, she's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to be to pretend to be a real princess.
You're complaining about your hard life, and you're so privileged. It's just so weird. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, today, Suits actress Meghan Markle married some unemployed dude who still lives with his grandma.
Look at that face. She's not happy.
Oh, yeah, it's so hard to be pretty. So your life is so hard. You're a fucking princess.
Prove that you're enough. You have to prove that you're pretty enough. You have to prove that you're smart enough. You prove that you're a good wife or a good friend. Or
Meghan Markle's sitting here talking about, yeah, I gotta prove that I'm pretty. And while she's a pretty woman sitting across from a bratwurst?
Yes!
Chris Rock's Netflix roast was more than a comedy routine. It was the spark that ignited a global rebrand Meghan and Harry never intended. What began as sharp one-liners evolved into a cultural avalanche, with late-night shows, viral memes, and animated satire cementing them as symbols of hypocrisy. Their efforts to pivot toward philanthropy or serious causes now face an uphill battle, as every word is filtered through the lens of parody. The laughter hasn't faded, it has hardened into perception, creating a brand that no charity speech or Netflix project can easily erase. In the end, the modern court jesters, comedians, and creators delivered a verdict harsher than any tabloid. Meghan and Harry are punchlines first, public figures second, but the bigger question remains: will time allow them to rebuild their image, or will the world's laughter define their legacy forever? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss these deep dives.